Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to this festive, completely unnecessary podcast for Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. That's Sugar Plum Dancing, Ian Ferguson.
I'm here. That's Pat Country.
Magical Candy Cane, Pat Country.
The Candy Cane Kid.
On the show today, we'll be talking about the release of the long-awaited VCS. We're talking about another video game appearance on Pawn Stars. Those are always fun. We have to talk about those legally. We're talking about messing with scalpers, all good fun, and a Patreon poll topic. There was a lot of fun stuff happening over the weekend, Ian. I'm filming an NES Punk video for Christmas. Trying to do 2 years in a row where my video comes out before Christmas. Traditionally, my video comes out on Christmas or way after. But last year, it came out 24th last year. 24th to 25th I did schedule for, but it was done. I was going to the airport and I was gone. So that was good. So that's what I did. So when I was going through that, Ian, first of all, what did you do during the weekend? We usually start with you. Besides yawn.
It's retail time, baby. It's the holidays, and even though people should be staying at home, we've been really busy. We were busy Saturday. We were busy Sunday. Sunday night I played D&D. That was a good time. And then
did your warlock beat the dragon?
No, there was no dragons. We're fighting large birds.
Large birds, okay.
Large birds.
So they said to have archery and skills and magicians.
Large birds is what we're currently fighting in a swamp. We need one of their eyeballs. So Monday, Vani went down to Tijuana to drop off some gifts for her mom and to pick up tamales, which are our traditional Christmas feast.
Aha!
Traditional Christmas feasting, tamales. And then yesterday, I actually got a surprise package from my parents. I wasn't expecting it. They shipped me my Apple IIe.
Oh, so I hear you talk about that for years.
Yep. So I'm really happy to have that. I love that stupid computer.
You gotta set it up in the corner there?
Yeah.
To the mixer?
Yep. And it's not the one that I grew up with in my parents' house, but it is the one that my grandparents have had since I've had memories. So what happened was they held on to it forever and ever. Then they finally upgraded when I was like 14 or 15, and my aunt and my uncle took it. And then like 4 or 5 years later, when I was like 18, 19, I had just moved out of my parents' house. I got a call and they're like, "We're going to get rid of this computer. Do you want it?" And I was like, yeah, I want it. I was like, don't get rid of it.
Definitely not the software, especially the software.
Right, especially the software. So, yeah, I've had it since, but I left it in Buffalo, and I did not test it out last night. I'll test it out today, but they tested it before they sent it out, and it was working fine. And I usually set it up and use it when I go home.
I've had the Apple IIs in my garage forever, so you can always borrow them or take it.
I love them.
Did they say any software?
So some of the shit that was copied onto discs over time, some of the pirated stuff is on there.
No originals.
There is some original stuff, nothing crazy good though. And then, unfortunately, they did not send out my Scholastic microzine. So I really like the educational software for the Apple II. And Scholastic did a what they called the Scholastic microzine, and they would send it out to school computer labs, and it always had like a bunch of educational games on there.
Oh.
They did them every couple of months. It was like a subscription.
Oh, we didn't have that.
And they were awesome.
Didn't have that in my Catholic school. There. So what did I do? Okay, so this is the thing I was going to get into. You know, my mental health's getting better. I've been here at Castle Country 3 years to the day tomorrow was when I moved in. You believe that?
It's crazy. It's wild.
So a couple months ago, I finally organized the N64 games. They're in alphabetical order. The remaining ones are the turbo ones, which take me 5 minutes. There's not many of them.
No.
The whole Sega wall is not organized. All the Sega systems over there. But I finally organized my Super Nintendo games because I was looking for a couple that I had as a kid. which we went over on the phone. In going through them, Ian, I found, guess how many doubles I found? And this is why you have a game list so you don't buy doubles. Didn't stop Pat over the years, because obviously the Super Nintendo games is not in my head as much as the NES games. How many doubles do you think that I found? Not a huge amount, but not like a couple.
25.
No, not that many. That would be like I clinically throw me in a fucking padded room and lock me up forever. I found 8. So we're gonna play a little game here. We're gonna play a game. If Ian can guess, I'm gonna give you like 3 guesses to get one of the 8, because it's the most eclectic, batshit crazy list of doubles you have ever seen. That makes no sense at all. How I have doubles of these. One actually kind of makes a little bit of sense. I know when I bought that one. The rest don't make any sense.
F-Zero.
No.
Super Batter Up.
No.
Super Soccer.
No, that was horrible. That was a horrible choice, Ian. I said eclectic. Like, give me one more weird game that I might possibly have.
Weird? I don't know. Uniracers.
No. That's closer to the target. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
These are the doubles I have. Some of these are fucking crazy. You're gonna be like, Pat, why do you have doubles of these? Okay, we're gonna start with the more common ones. Stunt Race FX. So when you went to Uniracers, you got a little closer.
Okay.
So I got a Stunt Race FX. Again, double. Like some of these, this is crazy. Tasmania. I got a double Tasmania. Not sure why. Maybe a swap meet thing for $1, but
cheap.
But I should have looked at my list and not put it on the shelf. Tasmania.
It's very cheap.
Super Pinball Behind the Mask for some reason. I was probably like, oh, it's a pinball game. That's weird. Super Putty. So Super Putty is one in the last Flea Market Madness that came out, Volume 36. I bought the game. I bought this game in that. So you saw when I bought that was likely a double. If not, that was me buying it originally and not thinking, looking at my list. Oh, Pat assumes I don't have Super Putty because it's kind of an uncommon game.
So you do have a list, or you don't have a list?
I have a list of all my games now at this point, and just and 99% are on there. The Adventure of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. I hate this game on the NES. No one likes it.
So bad on the NES.
So why would I have 2 of them on the Super Nintendo?
Because you wanted to give it another chance.
The last 3 are going to be like, what the fuck on these? Breath of Fire, I have a double of Breath of Fire. It doesn't make any sense.
I was going to guess some sort of RPG.
It doesn't make any sense.
I would have guessed the Final Fantasy.
What does this go for now? Are they like $30, $40?
Probably.
Well, it's going in the great sell for 2021. It's going. Here's the last 2. A very uncommon game, Looney Tunes B-Ball, I have 2 of. Both the labels are wrecked on these, so I'm guessing this is one of those type of games where the labels are always wrecked on this. I bought one of these at Too Many Games because I saw this was maybe the last Too Many Games a couple years ago, because there was a bin of like cheap sports games or cheaper games, and I'm like, oh, this game is not easy to find at all.
Should not have been in there.
Should not have been in there. I'm not saying it's worth a lot of money, but this is a very uncommon game.
Right.
Borderline rare. So both of my labels are screwed up. But it's going in the great sell. And the number one, I not only have 2 of these, I have 2 of these. I have 2 of the Jungle Strike with the weird like demo retail label. I have 2 of these. So you see these from time to time, right? These somehow get out there. So these must have been like retail demos that they sent out.
I think I've seen exactly that.
So I have a couple of different games with labels like this. But you can look online. People are like, these are real. These are real games. These aren't bootlegs. People online on Nintendo age, rest in peace. The forums were good for stuff like that. People would collect all the ones with labels like this, like Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, some first party ones. So I have 2 of these with this weird label. It's going in the great sell for 2021. So isn't that interesting? So now I'm not guessing I have 8 Genesis doubles, but I won't be shocked. Oh yes, there's an asshole that uses that. As a catchphrase. So the Genesis games are next. I gotta send your better half my list of Saturn games still. I don't have a lot of Saturn games to have doubles. You can see all the Saturn games right there. It's like 3 shelves full. Then the PlayStation stuff. So I gotta organize this stuff. I just think you don't think that's amusing, Ian? So you know what's amusing though, Ian? Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas. Look
at that. Look how great I wrapped that. My wrapping has improved exponentially in the past 10 years.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
On camera, Ian. People look at.
Yeah. Came with a bag too. That's impressive.
Well, no, I sourced out the bag. City Connection, Ian, for our radio listeners.
That's awesome.
So it's a City Connection. This was a limited run a few years ago by, I guess, a famous Japanese artist.
Yeah.
City Connection. There's a couple different designs, and you can't find these anymore.
No, they were only released in Japan. This is an XL, which means I'm going to have trouble squeezing into it as an L, but it'll give me a reason to lose some weight.
I thought we talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
It'll fit better because the Japanese people are smaller.
Yeah, exactly. So,
or you can beef up.
No, I'll probably need to lose a little.
Oh, that'll be too.
It'll probably be a little tight.
It'll be schmedium-ish.
It'll be a little schmedium-ish on my large untoned body.
But I found the tote, so you have the tote.
Thank you, sir. This is great. This is cute? Super nice art.
And the quality in the t-shirt's really nice when you touch the it's good quality t-shirt.
It is. This is a good quality tote. I can't wait to be the man about town.
The man about town with your tote, your City Connection tote.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
I appreciate it.
I'm nice every once in a year. I'm good for it.
I'll make Alex jealous.
Make Alex jealous?
Yeah.
I was like, Gerard, you didn't buy me City Connection tote. All right, well, there you go. And a couple tamales that will do it for me. All right. Cyberpunk is a fiasco officially, and I love that name. It's a fiasco.
Fiasco?
It's a fiasco.
It is officially a fiasco. So we talked about it a little bit last week, and the update...
Update.
If you haven't been paying attention, the news is that as of a few days ago, Cyberpunk 2077 was pulled from the Sony store. Just pulled right off. So it can't be purchased for an indefinite amount of time until CD Projekt Red patches the game to run reasonably properly on first generation hardware. Well, not first generation, last generation hardware.
Yeah, the base PS4, base Xbox One, and I think even the mid-tier last gen, there's problems with it. But definitely the original ones, it just can't run it correctly.
Yeah, I've heard of frame rates in their teens. Yeah, I mean, the game being basically unplayable.
Assets popping in 30 seconds after you're on the street. Like it takes forever to load in the assets. The assets look 2 gens back on some of it. Like it looks like PS3 graphics. And nowadays it's like, wow, it's not PS5, but it's not PS4. Like so the game was not ready for launch. It should not have been released. So
Sony pulled it down, and immediately there was, I think a lot of people saw it as a good move, as an example, making an example of we have to stop releasing games in this horrifyingly these unfinished conditions, and companies need to be more honest now about where their games are at in terms of how well they run on hardware that is being targeted as a release. One of the popular talking points since Cyberpunk 2077 has come out, is from some people who are defending the game, is that, well, if it's playing on an original PlayStation 4 or original Xbox One, what did you expect? Well, I expected it to run, seeing as how when
you expect that to be a buggy piece of shit.
Right. When the game was originally supposed to come out this past spring, there would have been no next-gen hardware.
It was
to run this
developed
on.
for PS4 and Xbox One. It was
Right.
developed for those.
Official PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series versions of the game are not out yet. Like, I mean, what we're playing is being, enhanced on these new generation consoles, or the half-step measures that we talk about, like the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X.
But those have at least a little bit of power to semi-run
But
these things.
this was originally for the last generation of systems. So I don't. That's not an excuse. It should have run on the systems it said it was going to run on.
Yeah, that's not like there's no like gray area there. Don't put it out for a system that can't run on it. That's it.
As we said last week, that is the whole point, or that was at one point in time, and it may be disappearing rapidly, but that is the main point of owning a console, is that
Correct. No worry.
It eliminates all that guesswork. You buy it, it's certified, it goes through, well, it's supposed to go through certification that states that it runs fine on this system. But the rumor from last week, I don't know if it's a rumor, if it's been proven, but was basically that Sony and Microsoft hand-waved the certification so they could get it out in time.
Get their money.
Basically, in goodwill, they were just
they would assume, maybe they assume this won't be a broken piece of shit.
Right.
We haven't seen something like this before happen with a game of this stature. We haven't seen it.
We have never ever seen a company like Sony rip a game off of their store and say, no, you can't sell it. And before people jump in with Batman Arkham Knight on PC, it was Warner Brothers themselves that pulled the game down. They pulled their own game down. And even that's kind of unprecedented to have a launch that bad that you're just like, we got to take this off the store until we're ready. But this is different. This is
someone else saying.
Sony. This is someone else saying like, whoa, your game is so broken, you can't sell it on our store.
You're upsetting our customers. We don't care if we're making money on it now. This is bad for business in general.
So,
and Microsoft didn't do that, but Microsoft's giving refunds to anyone who wants it.
Right. So one of the main reasons Sony needed to do this is because Sony's not as good with refunds as Microsoft is, or the Steam store, places like that where you can get the game. I have not had any experience with an Xbox console since my 360, but I've heard that Microsoft is actually pretty generous when it comes to giving refunds to people who are dissatisfied with their games. So there really is no reason for Microsoft to pull it off the store, because you'll get your refund if you get it and you don't like it and it doesn't work. Sony does not have a particularly robust refund policy in place, so that is one of the main reasons they pulled the game off the stores, because they don't really have a refund policy in place to handle this issue. And a lot of people think, and I think perhaps rightly so, that CD Projekt Red caught the ire of Sony when they made that big announcement and said, we want you to get refunds. Go talk to Sony. I mean, basically,
they threw Sony under the bus.
Yeah, we're sorry. We want you to have refunds. Now we're washing our hands of it.
So then
everyone else handle our problem.
So Sony's like, fuck you. The game is gone.
Boom. Right.
We're gonna kill you now. And this made the New York Times, this story. Like,
yes, this is not small.
This is like, imagine, I'm trying to make an analog to movies. If Avengers Endgame came out with like scenes missing, so when everyone goes in the theater, you're like, what the hell just happened? I watched that, like, there was like scenes missing. What I can't. That's
AMC
the equivalent.
Is like, we can't. We're
gonna pull the movie because it's shit.
Pulls it the first weekend. Yeah.
After it was built up, this was going to be like the game of the year for years. People are like, this is going to be the next GTA. This is going to be the next big thing. CD Projekt Red's going to be like, they're going to be like Rockstar going forward. This is going to be it. Now they had their Achilles tendon like torn. They're just flopping down over here.
Jesus, violent.
I don't know why I thought about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little concerned, though,
my
man.
Achilles has been tight lately, but also I don't know why I thought about Bill Murray saying that in Caddyshack. Yeah, just take care of snapping your attention there. He'll go off the side this time. That's why I thought about that. Great scene. They improv most of that scene, by the way. Bill Murray.
They improved a lot of that
Chevy
movie,
Chase.
didn't they?
After the fact, I think they did, yeah. And most of that ended up in the movie, the improv stuff.
Yeah. And
the scripted stupid stuff with the caddy that no one cared about. They got rid of most of that story. Sorry, a little Caddyshack history. Love that movie. Okay, so now they're looking at, they have, this is a traded company, publicly traded company. They have also, technically if you're a stockholder, you're an investor technically, but investors. They're now thinking lawsuit because the investors are like, what the fuck happened? Now you're costing us money. You're costing the company money. You came out with the product you shouldn't have. In long term, that's bad for business. So there might be a lawsuit that happens because of this.
Right.
Going after the people in charge, going after if the board of directors of the company, you have a fiduciary duty on a public trade. I love the term.
Fiduciary.
Your duty. Your duty.
Do your duty. Do your fiduciary duty.
Is to make the company make the poo poo, but make the company money. You have literally a legal obligation to make the company money. This is the exact opposite of that. This is almost going out of your way to lose the company money
yes.
through refunds, and one of the biggest video game companies pulling your game so you can't make money. So, what the fuck's going on? So obviously they rushed this piece of garbage out the door when they could have just said, you know what, we'll come out with the PS5 and Xbox Series S, and then we'll wait like 3-4 months on this and see. But obviously they wanted the profit now. They want to get it now. I don't know what pressure was going on. They didn't want to delay it again. I get that. But this is the problem when you release this shit and it's not ready. This is the worst possible scenario. Because now you're
it's bad.
You pissed off your stockholders who might sue you for some fraudulent activity or misrepresentation of knowing what the fuck you were doing, which is what's true. You crunched your employees.
And for what?
For no.
And now for what?
That
is the thing that honestly gets me is, the crunch is that is so you can release a good product on time is always what they say. Some crunch is necessary in a good final product. But if you don't have a final product.
Well,
I mean,
you had no end game here. It's almost like
that is sad. It's sad.
Well, it sounds like, the PS5 and Xbox Series X are okay, so maybe they just focus on that and didn't even focus on these versions at all, which is dumb because most of the people own the past gen consoles. What did we say the percentage was? It was like 80% of, or not the Series X and
41% of people playing Cyberpunk are trying to play it on a base model PS4 or Xbox One.
Okay,
it was 41%. That's what we saw.
But then you have the Pro, and then you have the mid tier ones. Xbox. Xbox One S. I'm getting confused by it. So the whole point is, though, you have like a chunk of these that are not ready for retail, just about. Not ready. Because now we're dealing with a situation where it's like a PC. Well, what does my system have? Can I run this properly?
Right.
It's a mess. So there's a nice New York Times article that goes through the history of the company going back to the 90s when they used to, in Poland, these two guys used to literally import games to release them. That was their business. And then they started doing games after that. It's a nice little story. Now it's a behemoth, and now it's out of control. According to this article, it was first announced in 2012. So that's when they first announced it. So 8 years in the making. 8 years. What a disaster. This is gonna. So I hope they turn around because people want to play a game that's good that they pay for. I hope that this is the No Man's Sky sort of situation where they keep getting the game up to speed. But that game you could at least play. It just didn't have any features that were promised. No Man's Sky.
Right.
It wasn't a buggy mess. It just didn't have the features. It didn't look like it was advertised. So that was bad. This is worse because you can't even play the fucking game.
It was bad. It also was a team of 20.
Sure.
I don't want to go back and try to make and pit them against each other and try to make the excuses. I do think that.
I'm just thinking that's a similar situation in some aspects, but this is a much bigger release.
Yes, there are some similarities, but not nearly as many as I think people think.
Oh, sure. But Sony was propping up that game too, which didn't help them.
Right.
I was like, this is our big PS4 game. And it was like, well, anyway. Yeah, so there's investors that are quoted. It's like, yeah, we're thinking about suing here. And it's going to be, it might be a legal mess because you're talking, when you pull a game from a store like this during the holidays, and then you put in all the extra time and money to have these employees that are going to crunch more to get these base. They even said that this will not be as good as they basically said this won't be as good as even the PC. We're going to get it closer. It won't be as good. They said that. And they were stuck because obviously the game probably bloated at some point. And they want to make it look as great as possible. We want it to look next gen. Oh, all of a sudden, oh, wait, we can't do this game anymore on these older consoles. We just can't. It sort of passed us by at some point. And what do you do? What do you do? Welcome to console gaming, what you thought you'd never see. You can't play a game on a console you bought it for. Who'd have thunk, Ian?
Who'd have thunk it?
All right, anything else to add? Or
no.
What a fiasco. All right, we have a quick update on Paprium. So it's getting in people's hands. This is the Genesis brawler that people were telling me. Several people told me, said, "Hey Pat, I pre-ordered this. They were taking money for this as early as 2012 for this small French team was taking money for this game."
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on it because when I was reading that article last week when we talked about it and said since 2017, that seemed fairly short. I think 2012 was when they started taking the money. I think 2017 was when there was some sort of...
That was the online
I think that,
website.
I think there was also some sort of change in who was involved. I can't quite recall. But anyway.
I haven't seen a full review of this game yet, though.
Neither have I.
But it doesn't work on the Mega SG, people are telling me, and certain models of the Genesis, I guess, / Mega Drive, it doesn't work on. Because there's special chips inside the card or whatever to make it function properly. I don't know.
Right.
It's a horrible situation still. Speaking of stuff that take forever to get out. Hey, 2012, the same year they're now Cyberpunk. There you go. So there you go. 8 years later, and they're messes. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer because I kind of would like to play the game. You know, I like beat 'em ups. I like the Genesis considerably, and some of the gameplay that it shows, does look fairly decent. It doesn't look, super bad or anything, but I just I don't want to. I find it tough to support this attitude that the guy has. About
No, it's
it.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's not tell anyone about money. I've taken all this money for years. Who knows what I did with it? And now I'm gonna just drop this on your lap.
I saw someone posted there was like a letter that came with the game, and I saw that late last night, and it was, I don't know, it was, let me read something from this letter.
Was it cute? Was it fucking cute?
It was definitely trying to be, cute to a degree, but also it was kind of like excuses and back padding, and
when you got people's money, don't be cute. We don't want to hear excuses. Don't take people's money if you're not going to put something out. That's the bottom line.
In conclusion, I'm not going to go through the whole letter, but the conclusion was, this is from Gwenaël Fonzie, the guy.
Hey.
Would I do it again? Maybe yes. To pursue the Sega 16-bit legacy, only new 16-bit games matters. Anything else is gadgets or commentaries. Again, a big thanks to everyone involved, customers and supporters. Don't listen to the mediocres. This is a rare achievement and a huge success.
Oh, eat my asshole, Fonzie.
The game is there. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, huh, Fonzie? That's all that matters. Not that no communication for several years and who knows what you're doing and having your stupid party, your little party you book in some fucking hall somewhere and showing nothing after years and years.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do, but once you take people's money and you're past the point when you say something's going to come out, shut the fuck up and make your product. Just shut up. This is insulting. I even order one. It's ridiculous. This is one of the most angered I've got about things. Out of everything we've ever talked about was this. This and fucking Pauly D are the two most things I've gotten angry about, probably.
Pauly D, absolutely.
It's just the worst way to do business possible. Jesus. Because it makes everyone else look bad, like me who tries to do independent stuff. Because then this gives everyone else a bad name. When you fuck around and you do dumb shit. Like this, you act unprofessionally, like a jackass, you're clowning everyone. You're not saying, hey, yeah, sorry, it's been several years past the expiration date on this project, but isn't it cute that I did this? Fuck off, man. It's so disgusting. Then and we'll see the CD Projekt Red freaking whatever the higher ups allowing this game to go forward is disgusting as well, obviously. To release these base models. By the way, I forgot to say, Best Buy even accepted returns. A retail store.
Now we're jumping back into Cyberpunk.
I forgot to mention this. This is very important. This is how messed up this is about this. They were refunding, if you open the game, the physical one, they were allowing you to return it up to December 21st. I don't know why there was a time limit on it. But they were allowing returns. I've never heard of that before.
That's crazy.
It's usually like, well, whatever. Not even exchange. I don't know what they do when you open a game up, physical game in the past. For the NES game, you're out of luck. Back in the day, that was a big thing with NES games. You couldn't return a crappy NES game. They wouldn't allow it. You had to show that it was broken, which never happened. Because if you dropped it into mud. All right, sorry about that. No more Cyberpunk crap until it works. Don't buy Cyberpunk until it works. All right. Do you think Twitch streamers should go to jail?
No, I don't think Twitch streamers should go to jail. It's fucking ridiculous.
Senator Tom Tillis, asshat, wants Twitch streamers DMCA strikes to have felony jail time, according to this article. He's from North Carolina. He wants law enforcement to have the tools necessary to combat a real crime, unlawful copyright use. That's so tongue-in-cheek, right there. What's so weird about this is that it's usually a civil matter, copyright. It's not like you're going to go in jail usually.
Right.
I know with the FBI warnings, stuff like that to scare you off, but 99% of the time it's a civil matter unless you go over the line and are doing something really obscene, like you're like hacking into Nintendo and things like that, and you're going to face jail time because it's federal stuff. But most of the time it's like a civil thing. So, or misdemeanor, and here that he wants it to be a felony offense. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. It's like, what? Like, who the fuck's paying you money to come out for this? Like who? Like what's going on here? Like most of the freaking video game creators don't care when you're streaming their stuff. They don't care. They want you to stream it.
Yeah.
They don't think you're doing something bad. That's all. We forgot to bring this up last week.
Yeah, it's
vote these assholes out. Vote these old ass boomers out of office. Can we get them out? All of them. I'm almost saying we should have an age limit on people in government at this point. I'm getting to that point.
No, I feel like it too.
Especially for president. I think if you're not into office by the time you're like 66, even, I think that's a good limit. I don't want you as president. I don't want you as a senator. Well, we should have term limits, but now we're going off topic for everything. But there should be an age limit, because it's not just that your faculty might leave you. You're just out of touch. You're out of touch. You don't know what someone 40 years younger than you needs or thinks about. You're just out of touch. Get the hell out. Get out.
Go.
And you're corrupt, probably. But just get out. Get the fuck out, Tom. Get out, Tommy. Guys, is anyone named Tommy this year I like at all? Oh, I like my friend Tommy in Anaheim. I like Tommy.
Tom is good. We know a good Tom.
Okay, we do Tom. I was saying Tommy more than Tom. But I just call this guy Tommy. I'm just blabbering. All right. You can buy some after Christmas gifts at ultimatenintendo.com.
You sure can.
Eating gifts after Christmas. I didn't know that. I like to get my shit done at Christmas. Get it done so I can relax. Well, I guess if you've
been a year, it's been busy.
It's definitely been a year. It's been a while. But we got books, guidebooks. We got our RBI baseball stickers by the gross.
By the gross.
Literally by the gross. There's a lot left. I didn't make a dent into this roll, and I've sold a lot. And then we got the pins. See You Podcast and Animal Pins. We got the limited shirt. And we also have on sale the My Man See You Podcast shirt. So check it out at ultimatenintendo.com. I'm also on Cameo at cameo.com/PatCondry. The last Cameo someone requested, I didn't fulfill yet. They want me to go off on his friend for not liking my opinion on Diablo Immortal. So I might have fun with that.
Oh.
I might have fun. That's worth the bucks there. You want to talk about the shared safety principle thing that we glossed over last week about Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox have a shared commitment to safer gaming. It's a nice little message.
I mean, if you want to mention it, we can.
It's just they want to partner to keep communities safe and things like that. Hold ourselves accountable for making our platform safe and as possible for all players. It's a short little message. It's nice for a little joint message. I guess they had a little meeting saying we'll put this out. I'm not sure what the impetus was for this at all. We believe gaming is for all people of all ages, including our youngest and most vulnerable. Technology makes compelling entertainment experiences possible. We want to ensure those experiences, especially when they involve interaction with others, are positive and respectful. Good luck with that, especially on the Sony and Microsoft front. Respectful. All players deserve to have a fantastic social gaming experiences in settings where safety and respect and safety are mutual. That's great. You know what tool they should put in? Now they have like the machine learning for like closed caption stuff. If you're chatting in a game, I hate to say it, I don't care. Term of service. Record everything you say and write it down. And afterwards, if someone goes, "Oh yeah, you said all this horrible shit," we have the text of it right here. Yeah. It's not an invasion of privacy. You give up your privacy when you play a game on a fucking server with your voice. Like, there's no more privacy anymore.
Right. You actively chose to be part of that.
You can get banned. So, yeah, there you go. I just thought of an idea. Maybe they're doing that. Machine learning.
Thought of an idea.
and then, or you machine learn, you start flagging accounts. Oh, you said these racist terms this many times? Or you said you want to screw someone's mother this many times? You're out. Like, that's it. You're booted. Or you get a warning, then you're booted. Whatever.
Yo mama jokes.
It happens still. Simpsons Dreamcast demo released, Ian. You can talk about this.
So yeah, just interestingly, there was some Dreamcast leaks, and the one that I thought was the most interesting was there was an unreleased Simpsons game discovered amongst the detritus.
This comes from Dreamcastic Channel.
And it was kind of a neat looking game. It was called The Simpsons Bug Squad, and I have no idea where that idea came from or why.
It's like Buck Bumble.
I can't.
Or the mosquito game on the PlayStation.
Mr. Mosquito.
1 or 2?
PS2.
PS2.
Yeah. There have been some games that try to recreate. There was a game that was, I think it was called Spider on the PlayStation 1, where you played as like a spider. There's the Mr. Mosquito. Well, in this one, from what we can see in the demo gameplay, you walk around as a bug in the Simpsons house, and it doesn't show a ton.
And fly or jump in.
Yeah, it just shows the bug basically walking around the landscape that is the Simpsons house, and while the bug is moving around, you can see a large Homer Simpson walking, doing some sort of walking routine in the house. At no point does the bug ever interact with Homer, but I'm guessing that the point of the game would have been to annoy or fuck with various members of the Simpsons household.
Oh, itchy and scratches on the TV in the living room. So it looks like they recreated a couple of rooms here.
I honestly
It's a proof of concept.
Yeah, I think it's a proof of concept more than anything. But it's something I would play. I mean, that seems kind of fun. It seems neat enough.
I don't know. There was something about not just the bug stuff, something about 3D and like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I remember all the mods on first-person shooters. Not to bring Unreal into this, but I will as much as possible.
Yeah, might as well.
As much as possible, because when I see the Unreal Engine release again today, I'm like, you bastards. Another reminder. But there was a lot of stages that people made, obviously, for Unreal Tournament, and there was a lot of ones like that were like that. They were like, oh, it's like gigantic living room.
You're teeny tiny. Sure.
You're teeny tiny, and it's fun, especially when it was like using the mod where it's a one-hit shock rifle death. So it's even more fun.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it was just cool because then like you're and you do super jumps, obviously, so you can jump on the chair and things like that. And that was a lot of in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of that going on where we're small and 3D and everything's big and yeah, there's Homer horrifyingly walking around with this weird smile.
Yeah, at first I was like, are they even going to show his face? And then they did, and I was like, maybe I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, it looks horrifying, that angle. So yeah, check that out. And then you talk about the Miyamoto New Yorker interview real quick?
Just worth, I think, mentioning that there's a long Miyamoto interview in the New Yorker.
New Yorker.
And just from what I read of it, it seemed like a well-done interview. Interesting. Miyamoto seems like... He seems very genuine is kind of the best way I can put it. His passion for games is not something that he is struggling with and pretending to have, even as he goes into
even 40 years
old
later.
Age. He talks in the interview about how he goes home on the weekends feeling, sometimes a little tired, but he still thinks about games, and by the time he gets back to work on Monday, he's just games in his head, and he's all about it.
He still has the passion.
Right, he still has the passion for it. And I thought one of the funnier segments in the interview that I read was someone asked him something like, what kind of boss do you think you are? Or what do you think makes a good boss? And he goes to answer it in terms of like video game boss.
Oh, he starts with video game boss.
And he doesn't really...
well.
He's like, oh, actually... oh, you mean like real life.
Well, people. Managing people.
So the dude lives that lifestyle. His head is in the clouds in the games, almost 24/7, and just seems like a very, very decent person.
And they asked about real stuff. It's not a fluff interview. It's
not.
They talked about what's going on in lockdown. I'll just talk this little segment. In lockdown, millions of parents have been trying to ensure that their kids maintain a healthy relationship to video games, not playing for too long, and so on. How did you negotiate these things with your children? I wonder how young his kids are. He said, kids feeling like they can't stop playing because the game is so fun, that's something that I can understand and sympathize with. It's important for parents to play the games to understand why the child can't quit until reaching the next save point. For example, in terms of my own kids, I've been fortunate in that they've always had a good relationship with video games. I've never had to restrict or take games away from them.
That's pretty...
This is another great point here. I'm going to do this if I'm a parent. I don't care. It's important to also note that in our household, all the video game hardware belonged to me, and the children understood they were borrowing these things. That is a brilliant angle.
That is a pretty good angle.
If they couldn't follow the rules, then there was an understanding that I could just take the machine away from them. He laughs. When it was good weather outside, I would always encourage them to play outside. They played a lot of Sega games too, by the way. And then they said, really? Did you ever feel jealous about that? And he said, not jealous as much as inspired to try harder so that they preferred the ones I made. And they said they enjoyed Outrun and a lot of Space Harrier. I think that's funny as hell.
Yeah, that is.
What a good dad.
Yeah, he seems like a good dad. He seems like he's got a great head on his shoulders.
That's what I'm going to do if I have kids. I'm buying the game system. It's mine. I own it.
Yeah.
I'll buy you the games, but guess what? You can't play those games without the system. So there you go.
Right.
It's a brilliant way to do it. There you go. You have to earn the privilege of playing my system, Ian, in my household.
Borrow them.
You gotta take the garbage out. Don't talk back to your mom.
The borrowing is that's a neat way of looking at it.
Don't shoot Nerf guns at the cat. Then you can play. You can play the.
Don't shoot Nerf guns.
Oh, I shot my orange rubber dart at my cat cuddles all the time. I felt really horrible afterwards. I was like 6.
Every once in a while, I
felt bad.
Those finger rockets you gave me for my birthday from the dollar store, and I'll do a warning shot over Spike.
Over Spike. Will you hit him sometimes by accident?
No. I don't aim anywhere near him. But if he's on the ground, I'll sometimes do it way over. And if he's feeling frisky, he'll attack it, and then he's immediatyou done playing. That's the extent of his playing.
Going back to how toy guns get you killed as a kid, I had a black Uzi that you put like those orange plastic rubber darts in the front, and you crank that back. That thing shot like 30 feet. when I was a kid. Like that was powerful. And I hit my cat with it once. I felt horrible afterwards. I think she probably scratched me and I got annoyed at the time. She was a warrior cat, Cuddles. Not the name for that cat. Like she was a warrior cat. She beat the hell out of the other cats in the neighborhood. Like she kept everyone off our property. Like she was very territorial, Cuddles. Rest in peace, Cuddles. Gone too soon. All right, and then finally, a couple people were asking if I was going to talk about this, and Mike texted me himself. Mike Matei has left the Cinemassacre channel. Mike Matei obviously partners with James on AVGN. He literally started the YouTube channel and uploaded the original AVGN videos back in 2006. Started the channel. He did obviously some of the scripts and helped out in a lot of the first stuff. He did all the artwork over the years. So he was a big part of the channel, and he's leaving. We spoke about the hiatus they were going to go on. They announced the hiatus earlier in the year, around April.
So for the Mike and James Play or whatever.
James and Mike Mondays.
James and Mike Monday.
Or their Let's Play show they've been doing for several years. And at the time, Mike made a point. I was just going to laugh at this. He made a point saying, "No, we're not. We're coming back. We're not. Well, they're not coming back." Mike decided in this time that he's moved on. He streams on Mike Matei Live on Twitch, and he has more fun doing that than being in front of the camera. And it's time for him. It was several years, and it was time to move on from doing that. They did several hundred episodes of that, and he also did the retail reviews, or as a video game shop. So he's just going to be on Twitch doing his Twitch thing. So I wish him luck, and it will kind of part of Cinemassacre is now gone there. So there you have it.
There it is.